Hello, and welcome back to this week's edition of Sports Mecca. I'm Grant Porch.
And I'm Caitlin Gill.
For starters, let's talk some ladies softball. Caitlin, what do you think the difference has been for the Vols to make the jump from being relevant to nationally relevant?
Yeah, I mean, their offensive efficiency is no joke, but I think the biggest difference has been pitching. And speaking about hype, a starting rotation of Ashley Rogers, Carlin Pickens, and Peyton Gottschall, that can't get enough hype. And I mean, I could say all the words I want, but I think the stats speak for themselves. They lead the nation with an ERA of .62, are number one in the SEC with 17 shutouts, including one perfect game, one no-hitter, and 5 one-hitters. And get this, just 13 extra base hits have been allowed in the last 157 innings, and only 15 runs allowed through 25 games. So if I could put all those words into one, I'd just say incredible. They deserve every ounce of hype they have right now.
We're going to baseball. Caitlin, how do you think the Vols will fare this weekend against the Aggies?
Yeah, I got to absolutely agree with you. I think this may be a strength of schedule thing. They've had some pretty easy games in between. So this series is essential, and I just want to say Mizzou as a whole has been kicking Tennessee this year. 2 tough losses in basketball and now a series loss in baseball. And I hope this is just a case of really bad weather and 2 tough 7-inning doubleheaders. So, I mean, it kind of kicks at them because it's not the ideal way to start off SEC play. And they did fall to number 12 in USA Today's sports coaches poll after being number 2 for 4 consecutive weeks. So that's tough, but I definitely think this is an opportunity for them to bounce back against the Aggies this weekend, and they're at home at Lindsey Nelson, so I think they got a good chance.
Caitlin, do you see the game as a coin flip?
I mean, let me just say, I cannot wait to talk about the Lady Vols basketball. I'm probably their biggest fan, and I've been covering them all season, and you could just feel the atmosphere at that game. Lady Vol Nation has embraced this team, and I mean, let's just talk about history, which is historical is probably the word I would use to describe the team. This is their 23rd consecutive Sweet 16 appearance, and that marks their 36th appearance in the Sweet 16, which is the most appearances by any team in men's and women's history. And then they are the only team in history to make an appearance in all 41 NCAA tournaments. And I think the big thing for the Lady Vols right now is they got that deep threat on point. They drained 11 three-pointers. Sarah Puckett, Caroline Strickland, and Jasmine Power were absolutely killing it, and Lady Vol Nation was on their feet and screaming as their girls continue to make history. And this is their second game against Virginia Tech this year, so I think this is a comeback for them, and they deserve it more than any team right now, and I absolutely love them. So they're headed off to Climate Pledge Arena in Washington, and the number 4 Lady Vols will tip off against number 1 Virginia Tech on Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, and we wish our Lady Vols the best of luck.
What do you think is going to happen in the game tonight?
Yeah, I mean, with the rugby comment, I mean, basketball, it's a tough sport, especially in the SEC. We go big or go home, so this is full grit in this game. And for Tennessee, this has been the ideal situation. I mean, for the second time in tournament history, a number 16 seed knocked off the number 1, so I'd much rather be playing FAU than Purdue, the number 1 seed. And this is a perfect path for Tennessee to have their first elite appearance since 2010. And I was a little concerned the absence of Zakai Ziegler. That was definitely going to be felt. But against Duke, Olivier Namaka had a career-high 27 points, and Santiago Vescovi stepped up too with 14. And I think, they got a good chance. I have a tough time putting my faith in Tennessee. They've disappointed me these last few years in the tournament, but it's go time now. And Rick Barnes, I think this is his 4th 25-win series, which has only been accomplished by no coach in history, actually. Only 2 25-win seasons, so I think this is the year for Tennessee.
So that will wrap up our discussion on Tennessee athletics this week. We'll be right back after a quick break as Ellie and Jordan will lead us into some March Madness discussion.